I often talk to moms and dads about their loved ones, and many people think that an addict has to hit rock bottom before they'll accept help. And the truth is that's not true. There's actually constructive and proactive ways that you can bring the bottom to them. And it's basically means confronting the situation in a very positive, again, proactive way. There's strategic things that could be done. And one of the fundamental things is bringing the family together to operate as a unit and actually getting rid of any negative considerations that they might have because help is possible. And the truth is your loved one is a good person down deep, and we can reach that person. We can get them to see that help is possible and that they can be helped. And sometimes people need help. And the truth is that if you wait for the rock bottom, we don't know where that is. Some people have different levels of need of change where they realize that they have to change their life. Sometimes people can have some very minimal negative things happen and they change their ways. They realize, wait a minute, I have to change. And sometimes when they can't stop, they'll accept treatment. Sometimes people have to be put in a situation where the families are, when you have very close familial ties, that actually has a strong bond. And the truth is that the family can set out and say, look, this is what we expect. And we love you. We care about you, but this is what we expect from you as a loved one. And this is not done right out of the gate in an intervention. Sometimes people have misconceptions about that. Sometimes people think, oh, we're going to confront this person. We're going to do it where it's going to be chaotic. Now, I'm not going to tell you that chaos can't happen. I'm not going to say that the person may not get upset, but if the family is well coached and brought together to operate as a unit in a very loving but firm way, more often than not, your loved one will accept help. 85 to 90% of the time, interventions work. And if you have to play what we call the long game, in other words, implement the consequences of your loved one not accepting help, you can actually up that chance. But that's the hard part that families have. Now, there's 6 parts to an intervention. And the very first part is deciding that you're going to do something, regardless of any pushback that you get from friends or family members, and particularly your loved one who's addicted to drugs. Now, these things, it's very emotional, and emotions, and most families are operating in the emotion of guilt or anger. And the truth is, rational thought does not exist in those two emotions. And that's where we can come in as a professional interventionist and from an objective viewpoint. And once the family knows what to do and what not to do, they become actually encouraged, they gain confidence, and they can move forward in a very positive manner. And I have many, many case studies that I could share about different scenarios to do this. But waiting for rock bottom, we don't know where that is. And the truth that, again, we go back to where is rock bottom? It's different for different people. And sometimes, there's 3 ways that this stops. One is the person realizes they need to change and they accept help and they go to treatment. 2 is the person, has some sort of accident, or maybe the family member, their wife's going to leave them, or basically they don't want to lose that close code. Sometimes it can lend into codependency. But then the third thing is the things in the environment that cause them to change, such as maybe losing their freedom by going to jail, or maybe it's health problems or something like that. And sometimes that's not even enough. So the family, a lot of times brought together in a constructive and very strategic, positive way, can really go a long ways in not only getting your loved one to accept help, but also stay in treatment and then come out on the other side um, with a lasting recovery. Because an intervention is not just to get the person to go to treatment, it's for permanent sobriety. And our motto is the intervention is for the family. The treatment program is for your loved one. So the intervention actually brings the family together to know what to do to positively not only get your loved one help, but also to have them put them on the path. And it's oftentimes it's like an employee. You have somebody that you work with or that works for you, or there's certain things that are required of you. And as a family, you should have those a moral code that you're operating off of. And when somebody strays from that we should be putting them back on a moral code to where we can actually all be happy, we can all be constructive, and we can all move on with our lives and put this behind us. The people often misunderstand. One of the fundamental questions that I ask families is, what's the relationship like with their siblings? What's the relationship like with the grandparents? And sometimes people say, I just don't think he cares anymore. Well, yes, the truth is that he probably acts like, the addict probably acts like they don't care because of their actions. They'll often communicate in a very hostile way, in anger, and look what you did to me. It's all you're the one that has the problem. And the truth is that deep down they don't want to lose that relationship. More often than not, the person addicted to drugs does not want to lose that relationship. And you can actually if you come together in a very positive way. I've had people that agreed to go to treatment by walking into the room and seeing the family members that were there that had often been divided, and he knew that the person's how the family felt about each other, but they came together for him. And he told me, he said, that's the reason I'm here right now, because I know how much they care about me. And I have people that actually have told me, going as they're going to the rehab program, say, I've never seen my mom or my dad act that way. That actually really encouraged me to get help, and I want to get help, and I want to be a part of their life again. So it's very, very important and very powerful. And the family often invalidate their own uh, power of influence, I should say, over their loved one in that regard. I've been helping people get off drugs for the last 25 years. I actually went through a rehab program myself 25 years ago, and I got into prevention, and then I got into helping people get into a rehab program, and then I started doing interventions. And so the first intervention I did was in 2001, and I've been doing them ever since, primarily for the last 10 years. And I've been involved with literally thousands of interventions in different scenarios, and you know, I it's very rare that I get surprised about certain situations. While this is new to people, it's a lot of the things, and each situation is different. The truth is, there's a lot of commonalities among different situations, and it doesn't matter whether the person is, where if they come from the inner city, or if they own a private jet. The dynamics of a family who has a loved one addicted to drugs are pretty much the same, and we have to work within that realm to be able to figure out a plan that's going to work best for that loved one. But if we do that, we can, the majority of the time, we're going to help our loved one. A lot of times families, they won't do anything because they don't know what to do, and it seems to be very complex and it's unconfrontable. And the truth is we, I always use the phrase, you know how it is to eat an elephant. You do it one bite at a time. You take one step at a time, and you move forward, and you keep putting one foot in front of the other in a positive way, and eventually you're going to work out a plan where we can get your loved one into treatment. And we do this with love and compassion. People often have the misconception that interventions are, again, full of, confrontation and upset. And yes, those things can occur, but if we're properly prepared, we can help your loved one. And we do it in a very, and oftentimes people will appreciate it. Sometimes, I've had people tell me, there's no way he's going to go. He's going to do this. He's going to do that. And they sit down and, we put together a plan, and it's just like they just immediately go. And sometimes people even say, it's about time somebody did this, because they didn't, realize how the family actually felt. But we have to be firm, and we have to make the decisions that we're going to help our loved one, and we can do that with the help of unifying the family and putting together a strategic plan. The truth is that families are not alone. A lot of times people don't know what they think, that they're the only one. And I get asked almost every time, how do you do this? This is such an emotionally charged situation, and that's true. But the truth is I know what's on the other side of us. If we can weather the storm and get through this, and go through the chaos and the confusion and put together a plan, we can actually help your loved one. And happiness is on the other side of that. Happiness and a successful life. And this problem gets put behind us because now we've strategically and logically and with love and compassion helped your loved one. I have put together 25 tips for successful intervention based off of the trial and error of many years of experience and working not only with myself, but also with many other interventionists over the years. And these things are done in systematic order, and fundamentally, they're the core of a successful intervention. You can actually find that in the bio of this video. You can go click the link, or you can call us at 866-989-4499, and we'll be glad to answer any questions and help you any way that we can. Thank you.